Planted a garden, filled it with flowers. We dug a hole, now we're growing.
We've met somebody who said compost is the thing. It's going to have the biggest bang for your buck for mitigating climate change.
I have the thing. We have all the things.
After seeing their food through its journey from grocery store to plate, many Minneapolis residents don't give a second thought to the next leg of their food's journey. But once it's tossed in the trash, the food waste still has a longer trip ahead of it. Whether ending up in a landfill or being burned in Hennepin County's downtown waste-to-energy facility, tossed food waste goes on to contribute to harmful greenhouse gas emissions and cause other negative environmental impacts. Now, however, City of Minneapolis and Hennepin County officials, along with active and engaged residents, are working to take this problem and turn it into an opportunity through composting. Composting is a tried-and-true environmentally beneficial activity that can address these problems, and interest in it is growing more widespread as increasing attention is paid to climate change and more sustainable ways of living. Many communities are realizing the potential to bring even greater benefits by implementing compost programs on a larger scale, and are working to collect yard and food waste, as well as other compostable material like soiled paper and cardboard. While these efforts are growing, many residents of Minneapolis will still dispose of their organic waste along with other non-recyclable waste. According to City of Minneapolis officials, about 30% of garbage that's tossed out is made up of compostable materials. If these scraps of soiled paper and food make their way into landfills, they create methane, a powerful greenhouse gas that is about 20 times as strong as carbon dioxide and contributes significantly to climate change. In fact, landfills are the single largest human-created source of methane. Although only some of the collected waste in the city of Minneapolis and Hennepin County is landfilled, the rest is burned to create energy.
The vast majority of waste in Hennepin County does not get landfilled. We have a transfer station that we operate in Brooklyn Park. We have the downtown waste-to-energy facility, and one of the key benefits of that facility is generating electricity. And so you want materials in there, ideally, that have a higher energy value, and produce and other kinds of food waste, they have a high water content, they don't have a high BTU value, it doesn't really contribute a lot of energy.
Composting organic material not only reduces the negative consequences of landfilling or burning, but it also creates positive opportunities.
There's a lot of environmental benefits related to compost, so taking this material and recycling it into this valuable compost, depending on how it's used, it replenishes the soils in the county. It can be used for stormwater control, which helps keep our water quality higher in our water bodies.
Additionally, a recent study by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change showed that compost can act as a carbon sink, sequestering carbon from the atmosphere and mitigating the effects of climate change. While current options in the Twin Cities are limited, the composting movement is growing. Select neighborhoods in Minneapolis have the option of setting their organic waste out on the curb to be picked up and composted at a commercial site. Felicity Britton, executive director of an environmentally focused community group, worked to bring the curbside composting to her neighborhood.
We went to see our city council member, and then she sent us to the director of solid waste and recycling, and she was like, great, I didn't want to do it top down, but you're a neighborhood coming to me, you're ready to agitate and promote and educate your residents about it, let's partner on this, and we can collect the data. So that's what we did.
Linden Hills resident Carol White has been a backyard composter for years, but has found the program beneficial in further reducing her family's waste.
We have a lot less garbage now. We can skip a week as far as our straight garbage bin.
Carol also points out the benefits that the Curbside program brings that go beyond backyard composting.
We have a cork from a wine bottle. We have the last of the eggs, the egg carton.
Because of the high temperatures generated by commercial-scale compost processes, residents can include items in their curbside bins they can't normally compost in their backyard. Despite these benefits, it's not always easy to get residents on board and engaged, which is one of the challenges to implementing the program on a larger scale.
I think the biggest challenge with getting people to do it is perception. So people think it's going to stink, or they think it's going to be too hard.
Even with neighbors on board, there are still infrastructure and policy challenges to contend with. Currently, there are only 3 facilities near the Twin Cities that are permitted to accept food waste and paper products for composting. Furthermore, composting policy is complex and varies at different levels of government, and the program, while not very expensive to maintain, does require a significant upfront cost to get started. In spite of these challenges, residents and policymakers are hopeful for and continue to work on expanding opportunities for composting in the Twin Cities.
There's just this groundswell of desire by neighborhoods. I get called twice a week, and people want it, but we just got to get the politicians to say yes.
As policy is being developed, community members are doing their part by composting in backyards and community gardens, educating their neighbors, and working together to make composting easier and more accessible, together bringing benefits to their communities and our environment.
We have all the things we need to make